Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing the bookshelf scavenger hunt started by the Library of Sarah. The Library of Sarah composed this big long list of items to find on your bookshelf, and it's all very random, but I had a lot of fun finding all the items. So let's begin. The first item is to find something on your bookshelf that either has a Z in the title or the author has a Z in their name. And I picked World War Z by Max Brooks. And I thought this was an obvious choice because there's a big huge Z right in the middle of the book. The next item on the list is to find a classic, and that was a pretty quick and easy one for me to do, and I picked The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. And this is a really great Victorian mystery, and I really suggest you read it. Next is to find a book that has a key on it, and I quickly picked out The Fetch by Laura Whitcomb. It has a big huge key right here. It's really pretty and has a great design. Next was to find something on your bookshelf that is not a book. And as you see behind me, I have a lot of stuff on my shelves, and I wasn't really quite sure what to pick out, so I just grabbed this Ariel and Eric figurine that I got from Disney World. It's one of my favorite figurines. They're just so cute together. Next, you had to find the oldest book on your bookshelf. And I didn't quite understand what the question meant, so I'm going to kind of mean like, I guess it means oldest published. And so I picked out these Arthurian romances by Chrétien de Troyes, and they were published in 1190. Obviously this book is not the 1190 edition, it's a newer edition, but I guess that's what the question maybe referred to, is an item, maybe what's the most oldest published. Next on the list, you have to find a girl on the cover of the book, and I picked Ophelia by Lisa Klein. And Ophelia is a retelling of Hamlet told through the eyes of Ophelia. Next was to find a book that had an animal in it, and I picked The Misadventures of Edgar and Allan Poe by Gordon McAlpine. And you can see the cat right here on the cover, and the cat is a big plot point in the book. Next was to find a book with a male protagonist, and I naturally picked Frodo Baggins from the Lord of the Rings series by J.R.R. Tolkien. I think it's a really obvious choice, and I couldn't really think of any other male protagonist besides Frodo. Next, you have to pick a book that has absolutely no words on it or any type of design, and I honestly don't really have too many books like that, and kind of the only thing I came up with was my edition of the Bible. There's only writing right here on the side, but there's absolutely no cover art or writing on the front and the back. Next, you have to find an illustrated book, and I picked Mouse by Art Spiegelman. This has some really great designs in it, and it takes place during the Holocaust, and it just has really great designs and very beautiful, and it's also a very emotional story. Next, you have to find a book with gold lettering, and I picked The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. And up here, it has really nice gold lettering that shines when the light hits it. Next, you had to find a diary, and it could be either a real diary or a fictional diary, and I picked Voyage on the Great Titanic, The Diary of Margaret Ann Brady by Ellen Emerson White. And this is one of my favorite children's books that take place on the Titanic. Next, you had to find an author with a very common last name, and the first person I thought of was Tom Rob Smith, and Smith is just a very common last name, so I think he was an obvious choice to pick. Next, you had to pick a cover that had a close-up of something, and I picked The Host by Stephanie Meyer, and this has a extreme close-up of an eye, and I like the cover how it has the ring of light signifying that someone's been possessed by a host. Next, you had to pick a book that had the earliest time period out of your entire bookshelf collection, and I have a lot of historical fiction books, and I'm not quite sure what was my oldest. I knew my tutor's books were not the latest time period, and I do have a Helen of Troy book, but I wasn't sure if that was the earliest thing I had. So I picked Gates of Fire by Stephen Pressfield, and this is about the Greeks fighting with the Persians. It's a fictional account, and I believe it takes place in 480 BC. So I'm assuming that's the earliest item that I have. Next, you had to pick a hardcover book that has no jacket, and I picked Kringle by Tony Abbott, and this is a retelling of the Santa Claus story, and it's really cute, and I think you should read it, especially around Christmas. Next, you had to pick a teal or turquoise color book, and I picked The Grim Grotto by Lemony Snicket. Next, you had to pick a book that had stars on it, and so I picked my trilogy edition of his Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. When you line them up, they make like a constellation of some sort, and they have a bunch of different stars on them. You probably can't really see the stars on here from this distance, but I assure you there are stars on these covers, and I thought they were really cool. And last, you had to pick a non-young adult book, and I picked The Other Boleyn Girl by Philippa Gregory. And this is one of my favorite historical fiction books, and it's about the sister of Anne Boleyn, Mary Boleyn. So if you like Tudor history, I suggest you get this one. So that's it for the bookshelf scavenger hunt tag. I really hope you all enjoyed. I had a lot of fun hunting all these items down. I'm going to place a link down below to the Library of Sarah where you can watch her original video and where you can also check out other people's scavenger hunts if you wish, or if you even wish to post your own on her channel. So I guess that's it, and I'll see you all later. Bye guys!